Tuesday. I'm Tom Yamas. Thanks so much for watching. Tonight and always, we're here for you. Good night.
KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adai Itano program. Apply at matson.com and McDonald's of Guam. I'm loving it.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime.
The 2026 gubernatorial race is heating up with another ticket filing their candidacy today. I'm Nevaeh Anderson with the story next.
And I'm Mitsuki Hirayama with why it's a tough road ahead for independent candidates vying for a seat in Adelup. Coming up, our interview with the Guam Election Commission.
Tonight, we take a closer look at Sexual Abuse Awareness Month with the Guam Coalition Against Sexual Abuse and Family Violence, breaking down local statistics and exploring critical conversations around consent, support, and available resources. Hafa day and good evening. Welcome to KUAM News Primetime. I'm Destiny Cruz-Lankus. Thanks for ending your day with us. The list of candidates eyeing Guam's top seat is growing, with another team officially set to be on the ballot this August after filing their candidacy with the Guam Election Commission. Nevaeh Anderson reports.
With the primary election just a few months away, candidates are racing against the clock to file. And today, yet another team made it official, entering the gubernatorial race.
The halls of the Guam Election Commission echoed with cheers as Speaker of the 38th Guam Legislature, Frank Blas Jr., and former Guam Community College President and CEO, Dr. Mary Okada, submitted their candidacy packets for governor and lieutenant governor. Surrounded by loved ones and loyal supporters, the pair say their campaign aims to raise the standard of leadership that Guam should expect and to move beyond status quo politics. Speaker Blas says with their packets now with GEC,
we're ready to go. We believe that what we can provide to our people of Guam is the leadership needed to move Guam forward. And Mary and I are just proud to get past this day and let's move forward.
And Dr. Okada adding that it feels all the more real.
We're very fortunate to have our family and friends with us here this morning to celebrate as we officially launch our campaign.
Their platform focuses on stabilizing the cost of living, improving the reliability of government services, supporting small businesses and economic growth, strengthening healthcare access, and ensuring that public systems operate with consistency, efficiency, and accountability. And the pair state it's all rooted in family values and faith.
In that, we recognize that, for a family to be strong, there has to be that transparency, there has to be that accountability, there has to be that leadership that's necessary to move things forward.
Blas also promising the people that their administration will lead decisively by way of prioritizing listening to the public's opinions, ensuring that the government is truly for and by the people.
That's what our democracy has expected of us. That's what our community demands of us.
Dr. Okada pushing that goal further, saying that now is the time for Guam to put their trust in proven experience.
Trust the leadership that Frank and I have, based on our experience in the past, based on what we've been able already to do for the people of Guam, and allowing us the opportunity to expand that experience and do something for a better Guam.
Blas and Okada are one of 3 teams to have officially filed in the race for Adelup, joining fellow Republicans Vice Speaker Tony Atta and E.J. Calvo, as well as the Democratic team of Senator Joe San Augustine and former Senator Dwayne San Nicolas. And with the deadline to file approaching, the field is expected to continue taking shape in the weeks ahead.
And there's a new gubernatorial team vying for a seat in Adelup, but not as Republican or Democrat. Restaurant owners Jeff Pleadwell and Charlie Hermosa are running for governor and lieutenant governor as independents, saying they don't want to be held back by party constraints. But as Matsuki Hirayama reports, getting on the general election ballot without a party will be a challenge.
Jeff's Pirates Cove's Jeff Pleadwell and Beans and Barrels' Charlie Hermosa are teaming up to take on Adelup as independents this election, but they'll be faced with a high hurdle.
We want the flexibility to do what is needed and not be held back by party constraints.
They picked up their candidate packets for governor and lieutenant governor on April 1st, live streaming the event on Facebook. Pleadwell says his bid for governor is not an April Fool's joke.
I ran 40 years ago in 1986, and I've been waiting for things to get better. I've voted every election, but I've noticed things have gotten worse, not better.
Guam Election Commission records show Pleadwell ran for governor in 1986 as an independent, but failed to reach the general election with 760 votes in the primary. It's historically harder for independent candidates to advance to the general election with a higher vote threshold and a crossover rule many voters forget.
Do you recall if we've ever had anyone win the primary or even the general as an independent, whether it's for governor or any other seat?
No, not in my time.
GEC Executive Director Maria Pangilinan explains.
The minimum number for Republican and Democrat is only 1,500. Their minimum is 20% of the total votes for both the Republican and Democrat winning candidate. If voters decide to vote on the independent column, they cannot cross over to either Republican or Democrat at all.
This is a sample ballot from the GEC. In the primary election, voters can only vote down one column. That means no crossovers, or the ballot itself will be void, throwing votes out for all races.
Crossovers have long been a problem in Guam's primary elections. When Pangilinan first came on board 14 years ago, the GEC saw over 2,000 crossovers in Guam's 2012 election. That number has fluctuated throughout the years, with 852 ballots invalid in the last election.
No matter how many times we mention it, no matter how many, we still have a bunch of crossovers. We cannot stress enough that what that does is that cancels his or her ballot totally.
These laws are the subject of an ongoing federal lawsuit by University of Guam professor Dr. Ron McNinch against the GEC.
It's still in litigation. I'm not able to talk about that.
But the bottom line, Pangilinan says,
we follow the law. So whatever the law says, that's what we follow. We're not the ones that make the law.
Meantime, the duo have yet to file their candidate packets. The deadline for all candidates is May 1st. Matsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
Thanks, Suki. And here are some important reminders from the Guam Election Commission this month. GEC Executive Director Maria Pangilinan says the Commission continues to conduct candidate seminars. One is happening at this hour from 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. Another is scheduled for tomorrow afternoon from 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. The last set of candidate seminars will be in May. Plus, volunteer voter registrar training is ongoing this month, taking place next Wednesday, April 15, from 5:30 to 8 p.m., and next Thursday, April 16, from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Republican and Democrat Party representatives are collecting precinct official applications. The deadline to submit applications is next Monday, April 13. The 2026 primary election precinct officials is expected to be approved April 16. A federal magistrate judge is recommending the dismissal of a lawsuit filed by Attorney General Doug Moylan, challenging the use of federal ARP funds for a new medical campus in Manila. In a 31-page report, the court found the case lacked a valid federal claim and ruled the Attorney General did not have the authority to bring the matter in federal court. The recommendation also denies efforts to expand the complaint to include multiple government agencies. Governor Lulian Guerrero calling the ruling, quote, clear and direct, saying it's time to stop delays and move forward with building a hospital for the people of Guam. Moylan has until April 22nd to object to the recommendation. A final decision from the district court could come as early as next month. A new law aimed at addressing Guam's physician shortage is now officially on the books, with lawmakers already pushing for quick implementation. Legislation authored by Senator Tello Taitagui, now Public Law 38-107, modernizes Guam's physician licensing process with the goal of attracting more qualified doctors to the island. The law creates two pathways, one for foreign medical graduates who meet U.S. standards and another more limited option for internationally trained physicians who can work in government facilities under strict oversight. Governor Lulian Guerrero calling the measure a major step toward improving access to care while maintaining high medical standards. Medical leaders, including the Guam Board of Medical Examiners, say the law can be implemented responsibly, with patient safety remaining the top priority. And to keep the process moving, Senator Taitagui, along with Senator Shelley Calvo, has introduced a follow-up bill requiring rules and regulations to be finalized within 60 days. The measure is expected to head to a public hearing in the coming weeks. President Trump says he's agreed to suspend the bombing of Iran for 2 weeks. It comes amid negotiations with Pakistan serving as a mediator. The president is calling it a double-sided ceasefire.
President Trump has announced a last-minute deal between the U.S. and Iran, a temporary ceasefire brokered by Pakistan that will stop attacks for at least 2 weeks. In a post on Truth Social, the president said in part that if Iran agrees to the complete, immediate, and safe opening of the Strait of Hormuz, the U.S. will suspend the bombing. In a new escalation of threats Tuesday morning, Trump warned on social media that a whole civilization will die tonight, adding that he doesn't want that to happen, but it probably will. Earlier in the day, images out of Iran showed people forming a human chain near power plants and bridges ahead of President Trump's Tuesday night deadline.
The President of the United States is a man who recognizes leverage, that if the Iranians want to exact a certain amount of pain, the United States has the ability to exact much, much greater pain.
On Capitol Hill, lawmakers were outraged and alarmed by the president's latest threats, with Democratic lawmakers calling on Congress to stop the war. Congressman Jason Crow, a veteran, said on social media, quote, calling for the elimination of civilization is a war crime, adding that the military must only follow lawful orders. Republican Senator Ron Johnson said he hopes the president's words are just bluster.
I do not want to see us start blowing up civilian infrastructure. I do not want to see that. We are not at war with the Iranian people.
Israel says it's already carrying out strikes on Iranian railways and bridges that it says are used by the Revolutionary Guard. Overnight, the U.S. hit military targets on Karg Island, a key location for Iran's oil exports.
In other news, a jury has returned a mixed verdict in a high-profile case involving the deadly robbery of a Korean tourist. Stephen Camacho was found guilty on all charges, including complicity to commit first-degree robbery, theft of property, and destruction of evidence, but was acquitted of complicity to commit aggravated murder. The verdict was reached Tuesday afternoon in the Superior Court of Guam following 5 days of jury deliberations. Prosecutors argued Camacho helped plan the robbery and drove the vehicle used in the crime, which led to the fatal shooting of visiting Korean tourist Hyejun Hwang in Tumon back in January 2024. Court documents show Camacho admitted to his role, including splitting stolen cash and later painting the vehicle to avoid detection. Camacho showed little emotion as the verdict was read, while family members in the courtroom were seen in tears. A motion for acquittal was denied and sentencing is set for August 13. Now to a weather update. A developing weather system in the Western Pacific is showing signs of organization, prompting closer monitoring across the region. Northeast of Chuuk is now considered to have medium potential for tropical development, according to the Joint Typhoon Warning Center. While significant strengthening is not expected immediately, forecasters say conditions are becoming more favorable for a tropical depression to form within the next couple of days. Satellite imagery shows the system becoming more organized as it slowly tracks northwest, but there's still uncertainty in both its strength and path. Models continue to vary on whether the system will pass south of Guam, move over the Marianas, or track farther north. For now, Guam is expected to see relatively stable trade wind conditions through the work week. However, as 90W moves closer, weather could begin to deteriorate heading into the weekend or early next week, with increasing showers, gusty winds, and hazardous marine conditions possible. Residents are encouraged to stay updated as forecasts continue to evolve. Time for a quick break. You're watching KUAM.
Good luck going after our fans. We have a Huntrix meal at McDonald's.
You mean the Saja Boys breakfast meal?
Ours has Ramyun McShaker fries.
Ours has hash browns.
Hash browns.
Zoe!
It's a battle for the fans.
We love you! What?
Now at McDonald's. Pick a meal
To pick a side. Don't fight. Kiss.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
At GTA, everyone gets our best deals.
So my Meows Primos Paris is your mom's second cousin's cousin through marriage.
Wow, we're basically like family.
So can I get the deal?
Of course, everyone gets our best deals.
My nana said to tell you she went to church with your auntie.
You look just like my friend's nephew's babysitter. Small island, right? Everyone gets $400 off when you sign up for a Live Unlimited plan.
Bring it in, cuz.
Even if we're not related.
Welcome to the world, Mila. A world where you'll feel loved and cared for, not just by your family, but by your extended family, your community. That's the power of relationships. At Bank of Hawaii, we've believed in that power to build better lives for our customers and communities for over 125 years. So when you need people who will look out for you, look to us. Because with the right relationship,
Anything's possible.
reach your possible with Bank of Hawaii.
Welcome back to Primetime. Well, Guam is taking a major step to build its local workforce. Governor Lulian Guerrero has signed into law the rules for the Guam Registered Apprenticeship Program, finalizing the framework for a new tax credit incentive. Under the program, businesses can receive a tax credit equal to 50% of eligible training costs for each registered apprentice. Administered by the Guam Department of Labor, the program requires employers to meet federal apprenticeship standards, verify local eligibility, and commit to long-term training and employment. Officials say the program will help develop skilled, homegrown talent while supporting businesses in high-demand industries. Outreach to employers and training partners is expected to begin soon. If you're 55 or older and looking to get back into the workforce, the Guam Department of Labor is now recruiting for the Senior Community Service Employment Program, also known as SCSEP. The federal funded program offers part-time paid training opportunities for eligible seniors, helping them build skills and gain experience through community service roles. Participants are placed in positions with local agencies, including mayor's offices and senior centers, working up to 20 hours a week. To qualify, applicants must be Guam residents, unemployed, meet income requirements, and face barriers to employment. Officials say those receiving SNAP benefits are likely eligible. Program leaders say funding remains limited, but they're urging Guam's Manamku to take advantage while opportunities are available. For more information, call GDOL at 475-7000 or 7001. The legacy of courage, sacrifice, and remembrance is taking flight. Decades after the D-Day landings, one Guam woman is preparing for a historic jump over Normandy, honoring not only the heroes of World War II, but her family's story. Janice Carrasco has the story.
UOG professor and U.S. Army veteran Dr. Mary Kate Soliva expresses the honor that she feels to have been selected to be a part of the first all-women Normandy jump, commemorating the anniversary of World War II D-Day landings.
This is the first time in history. This is the 82nd anniversary of D-Day, which will be taking place in Normandy, France. But this is the first time that there's an airborne jump with women pilots, women jump masters, and women paratroopers. And so out of the selection of women, I was asked just this past fall when I was attending the Military Influencer Conference to be part of this by the infamous Tony Lavery. And she is the founder of Fox Force 5, and it was incredible to get asked to join my special operations sisters, but also those who are first responders as well. And it's to honor the legacy of women who contributed during World War II.
I asked Oliva what crossed her mind during the jump. What she shared was not just about the experience, but about history, survival, and family.
I know you're trusting your equipment, you're trusting those who are in the air with you, but for the legacy of my grandmother especially, I definitely think about her, and I think about what it must have been like once my chute opens and I'm looking around. I do think about what that must have been like to be shot at, to know that there's enemy on the ground who want to go after you. And so it's this surreal feeling to be able to carry this legacy forward and the meaning of it. When you look at Guam history, and we know that there were 5 known comfort houses on island during the Japanese occupation here in Guam, and there's a story of my great-grandmother having covered my grandmother in chicken manure to make her look sickly and less desirable to the Japanese soldiers at the time, who often frequented the ranch for food at the time. And so being able to, can't even comprehend the amount of fear that must have gone on, and every day being the survival, but also recognizing that the women contributed so much here in Guam and in the region, not negating the contributions of women in the Commonwealth of the Northern Marianas as well, but specifically for my jump, really recognizing the contributions of my grandmother, great-grandmother, and the women from Guam.
Today we shared part of Soliva's journey. Tomorrow, the rest of her powerful story. Janice Carrasco, KUAM News.
Great job, Janice. Well, Teason High School's Air Force JROTC cadets are marking history, bringing home top honors from a major regional competition. 26 Titan cadets competed at the Pacific Regional Drill Meet on Oahu last month, facing off against 21 teams from across the Pacific, and delivered their strongest performance ever. The team earned first place in the Armed Inspection Division, along with multiple top finishes across several categories, including second, third, fourth, fifth, and eighth place awards, and a third place overall finish. This also marks the first time Teason fielded a full team across all divisions, highlighting the program's growth and depth. School leaders say the achievement reflects not only discipline and hard work, but strong leadership and teamwork developed through the program. And in other news, this April, the island is observing several awareness themes, among them Sexual Abuse Awareness Month and Child Abuse Prevention Month. Additionally, we join the nation in observing National Crime Victims' Rights Week from April 19th through the 25th. The Guam Coalition Against Sexual Assault and Family Violence, along with its community partners, will be hosting various activities. These events aim to honor survivors of crime and acknowledge the profound impact violence has on families, neighborhoods, and the broader island community. The community is invited to engage in a community wave on April 21st from 4:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. in villages across the island. This will be followed by a community outreach event on April 22nd from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Skinner's Plaza. A full list of this month's events is available on KUAM.com. To all survivors out there, you are not alone, and what happened to you is not your fault. For more information and resources available, visit www.pacificregionresources.org. Artemis 2 is heading back to Earth after an extraordinary lunar flyby yesterday. NASA has released new images of what the crew captured, and these are other mission firsts.
Orion has departed the lunar sphere of influence.
Artemis 2 is once again under the gravitational pull of Earth instead of the moon. The astronauts woke up Tuesday to the song Tokyo Drifting, resting after their 7-hour lunar flyby, which captured images like these of the moon and a few selfies. NASA released the pictures Tuesday, providing an up-close view of craters on the far side of the moon.
Those are beautiful, magnificent, and again, words never put actually the trueness behind what they capture.
Houston copies. We'll see you on the other side.
The lunar flyby made history, taking the astronauts farther into space than any other human.
To all of you down there on Earth and around Earth, we love you from the moon.
What they saw stunned them.
The surprise of the day, we just came out of an eclipse, and the entire dark moon about that big right out the window that we were watching. We could see the corona of the sun, and then we could see the planet train line up, and all of us commented how excited we are to watch this nation and this planet become a two-planet species.
The astronauts shared their thoughts with the crew aboard the International Space Station.
I found myself noticing not only the beauty of the Earth, but how much
blackness there was around it.
The Orion capsule is now headed back home, scheduled to splash down off the coast of San Diego Friday night. Cristian Benavides, CBS News.
The SNP clinic at Guam Animals in Need, or GAIN, is reminding the community that low-cost spay and neuter services are available every week at its GECO location. And for just $50, pet owners can schedule surgeries to help reduce animal overpopulation and improve their pet's health without waiting for limited outreach events. Additional services are also available during appointments, including rabies vaccinations and microchipping for just $10 each, and flea and tick prevention for $20. The program also offers free services for SNAP recipients, expanding access to those who need it most. And new this year, the SNP and TIP program provides no-cost care for community animals, including surgery, vaccines, microchipping, and identification marking. GAIN encourages pet owners to take advantage of weekly appointments and do their part to support healthier pets and a safer community.
Now for a look at your world at home.
Here's a midday time-lapse of beautiful Tumon Bay.
Everyone has goals. Saying yes helps you get there.
Retirement, huh?
Yes. When is it your turn?
I'm working on it.
And well-deserved.
Could I be a truck guy?
Oh yeah, we totally see truck guy.
Can we really do that right now?
Yeah, wild, right?
Can we start that college fund?
Yes. Because yes is so much more than the answer to a question. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes.
Spring is here, and it's blooming with savings at Kmart Guam. Step into the season with fresh styles for the whole family. Tackle your spring to-do list with tools for every project. Get everything you need to be spring ready. Find it all this season at Kmart Guam.
Now it pays to spread the Better Together experience. With our brand new referral program, you can earn up to $150 in account credits for every referral you bring in. That's right, family, neighbors, friends, even your coworkers. Just pass them your account name and account number. When they sign up for Docomo Pacific service and drop your info, cha-ching! Credit applied. So spread the word and start stacking those savings. Additional conditions may apply. Docomo Pacific, we're better together.
Tonight's sports feature is brought to you by Cars Plus.
Wesley kicks out. Simon, big three. Oh, baby! Wesley kicks out. Simon, big three. Oh, baby!
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
Just because I dress this way.
Just because I drink too much.
Just because I kissed you. Just because I'm dating you. Just because I've said yes before. Doesn't give you the right to do whatever you want with my body. Consent does not always rely on verbal agreement.
Consent is specific.
Consent is freely given. Consent is reversible. Consent is informed. Consent is enthusiastic.
The island of Guam recognizes sexual assault as a crime.
And it will land you in jail. If there is no consent,
it is sexual assault.
Freedom, that's a cheap thing. Freedom to ignore this, that's a cheap thing. Sacrificing facial hair to nature and involuntary blood donations, cheap things. No one signs up for an 800-pound bear chase, but if it happens, cheap thing. VIP parking, exfoliating, treating gravity like a suggestion, saying, it'll dry. Free-range parenting, forgetting if that's a moose or an elk, all cheap things. Remembering without saying it. Couldn't be more of a cheap thing. Sweating your tail off, freezing your tail off, an American saving another American's tail. Cheap things. Making a cheap vehicle for only people with cash like him? Not a cheap thing. Or confusing capability with unaffordability? No, not a cheap thing. Making adventure affordable? Now that's a cheap thing. So we're bringing you more cheap things this year, because cheap things should be everyone's thing.
News Bites is brought to you by Docomo Pacific, Better Together, and Fresco Clothing, original custom design apparel of Guam and the Marianas.
Happy day, everyone. This is Janice Carrasco with News Bites. Let's see what we got going on. Mark your calendars for the Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce's 13th annual golf party tournament on April 24th at the Country Club of the Pacific. Shogun starts at noon. Early bird pricing until April 10th is $250. It's a two-person modified Callaway for men's, women's, and mixed division. Register now at guamwomen'schamber.com/events. All right, next up. The National Association of Women in Construction has worked nationally to achieve its goal of reaching the next generation of construction workers. To support reaching the next generation, NAWIC's education program. The Block Kids program introduces children to the construction industry in an effort to create an awareness of and to promote an interest in future careers in one of the many facets of the industry. During Block Kids competition, participants have 40 minutes to an hour to construct a project using approved building blocks and materials. The competition is open to all K-6 students. Next up. The Guam Hotel and Restaurant Association is inviting you to the Pacific Hotel and Restaurant Expo 2026 on April 16th, 17th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Hyatt Regency Guam. It will showcase the latest in technology, concepts, and offerings that will help improve the standards of service and quality in the industry. All right, next up for sports. Sunday Night Baseball heats up the Guardians, take on the Braves in a can't-miss matchup. Monday morning at 9 a.m. on KUAM 8. Next up, we have birthdays. Thank you for accompanying us tonight at News Bites. This is Janice Carrasco.
It's that time of day, birthday shout outs. Here we go. All right, this special birthday shout out is for Xavier Sarmiento, also known as Acho. Viva cumpleaños, Lahihu, Guaitzahao. To our Ron Star, we pray that God blesses you with wisdom and good health. May this year bring you as much happiness and love as you bring to everyone around you. Happy birthday, Ronnie Santos Jr. Happy birthday to Liz Atoigui. Your family says, happy birthday, Grandma. We love you so much and hope you had an amazing day. Your patience, kindness, and never-ending love inspires us every day. We wouldn't be who we are without you. Happy birthday to you. And from all of us here at KUAM, we wish you many blessings, lots of cake, and lots of love. Have an amazing birthday.
Want to wish your special someone a happy birthday? Just click the QR code here on your screen or email birthdayclub@kuam.com.
And don't go anywhere. Coming up, we have the interview. We sit down with the Guam Coalition Against Sexual Assault and Family Violence as April marks Sexual Abuse Awareness Month, taking a closer look at local statistics and the critical role of education, support, and access to resources. Stick around.
GU Self-Storage, located in Harmon next to McDonald's, offers a variety of storage units. With rates starting as low as $95 per month, we offer complimentary use of dollies, push carts, Plines hand trucks, and pallet jack, with a fully covered loading and unloading areas and ADA accessible units. We offer 24-hour CCTV surveillance monitoring, alarm, and individual pin-coded gate and door access, because your safety is our priority. GU Self-Storage, voted Pica's Best in 2024. Call 671-648-7867 today.
Something happens when you put crispy, all-white meat chicken nuggets inside a Crunchwrap slider with your choice of sauce inside. What happens is, probably ordering one of each. The new Crispy Chicken Crunchwrap Slider, a brand new classic, only at Taco Bell.
Freedom, that's a cheap thing. Freedom to ignore this, that's a cheap thing. Sacrificing facial hair to nature and involuntary blood donations, cheap things. No one signs up for an 800-pound bear chase, but if it happens, cheap thing. VIP parking, exfoliating, treating gravity like a suggestion, saying it'll dry. Free-range parenting, forgetting if that's a moose or an elk, all cheap things. Remembering without saying it, couldn't be more of a cheap thing. Sweating your tail off, freezing your tail off, an American saving another American's tail. Cheap things. Making a cheap vehicle for only people with cash like him? Not a cheap thing. Or confusing capability with unaffordability? No, not a cheap thing. Making adventure affordable? Now that's a cheap thing. So we're bringing you more cheap things this year, because cheap things should be everyone's thing.
Hafide, and welcome to another installment of The Interview, a segment where we take a closer look at the issues that matter most to the community. I'm Destiny Cruz-Langus, and today we're joined by Jordan Brink, Project Coordinator with the Guam Coalition Against Sexual Assault and Family Violence. Now, together we'll be discussing Sexual Abuse Awareness Month, Child Abuse Prevention Month, and National Crime Victims' Rights Week, all observed this April. And before we begin, we want to share a content note with our viewers. Today's conversation will include discussions of sexual violence. So thank you so much for being here, Jordan. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for taking the time to engage in such an important topic. I know it is a sensitive one, but one that is pertinent to our community. So just diving right in, just to start us off, can you share a bit about your organization, the services you provide, and why this work is so important, not just in this month, but beyond?
Absolutely, and thank you so much for having me here. It's such a pleasure to speak about this, and especially for the month of April and the awareness themes that we have going on. And so the Guam Coalition Against Sexual Assault and Family Violence, we're a nonprofit organization that works to help make Guam a safer and healthier place, essentially. And so our mission is to support safe, healthy, and violence-free communities. And we do that by addressing sexual assault and family violence through our technical assistance and training that we offer, our community awareness and public awareness and outreach that we do, and then finally staying connected through our training and being connected with our partners. And so one thing I wanted to really emphasize about the work that we do is that the strength of the work, it really does lie within our partners. And so we are very connected with the member agencies and partners and organizations and government agencies that we work with. And so we connect with them very often on collaboration to, again, stay aligned with that mission at mind. And so that's definitely a big aspect of what we do. And the reason why this work matters year round, obviously it's April, there's a lot of different awareness themes that are going on. The work matters though, because violence does not stop after awareness months. And so survivors and service providers, especially the many that we have here on island, we are constantly trying to find ways to navigate safety, healing, and systems every single day, and it takes a collective effort to make lasting change. And so that's a big aspect of what we do and the work that we constantly do, collaborating with our partners, and of course, acknowledging that this work is year-round.
Most definitely. And you know, I really wanted to dive into some statistics. The coalition did provide some concerning ones, and I just want to help give our viewers some context. So in 2024, GPD recorded over 1,500 violent offenses. So that included assault, harassment, family violence, and criminal sexual conduct. Now, of those cases, about 150 involved criminal sexual conduct, with the majority of survivors being children and teens, and about 67% under the age of 18. So with that in mind, can you kind of help us understand some of the realities that survivors may be facing, especially harm when it can happen in spaces that are supposed to feel safe, like the home, or involve someone that they know?
Absolutely, and I want to start by just thanking the Guam Police Department and Healing Hearts Crisis Center. They're the ones that provided that quantitative data and those statistics for us and for our viewers here today. And so I want to just thank them for their work and that transparency. It helps us better understand the scope of violence on Guam and where prevention support efforts are most needed. And so we get that every year, and that's something that we always are constantly looking at when it comes to the services that we provide and how to improve upon that. The thing that the data shows, it shows us, is that many survivors, especially children and teens, are harmed by someone that they know and trust, often within their own home or family environment. So when harm happens in spaces that are supposed to feel safe, it creates layers of trauma, fear, and oftentimes confusion. And so survivors, they may struggle with whether to speak up because they worry about family disruption or not being believed, or of course they're facing blame. And for younger people in particular, this can be especially complicated in close-knit island communities where privacy feels limited and cultural expectations may encourage keeping issues within the family.
You know, and that's, you know, something so concerning, because over here on the news end, we also read these statistics, we read these stories on a daily basis, but to also hear how that translates in real life, supported by the statistics, is it's really concerning. And I want to continue on. So we also know that many survivors are women, about 92% according to statistics. And in most cases, again, the person who caused harm was someone known to them. So from your experience, again, if you can just hone in on how those realities show up in the stories that you hear and the support that you provide. And how do these trends reinforce the need for community education and awareness during this month and, again, beyond, year-round?
Absolutely. I would say that these realities, they highlight why trauma-informed, culturally responsive care and trusted community support are so critical. Prevention and response, they must consider family dynamics, the cultural values, and the unique challenges that survivors face when harm is caused by someone that they know. Something that I am focusing on in the work that we do with one of our grants is trying to engage in young men and boys. We want to focus on primary prevention and creating a respect model. And so a lot of the times we're thinking about the work that we do with knowing that statistic is trying to target younger men and boys as a way to have that conversation about respect. And so that's one specific area of work that I'm specifically focusing in on in one of the curriculums, or the various curriculums that we're going to be working through, specifically regarding respect and boundaries. And so that's something that I think about a lot when it comes to supporting women and the victims that we have here on island. And so those are definitely some aspects.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Only Taco Bell has what it takes to put crispy chicken nuggets inside a Crunchwrap slider. Why? Because what it takes is a Crunchwrap slider, and we 100% invented those. Choose from creamy chipotle or jalapeno honey mustard. The new crispy chicken Crunchwrap slider, a brand new classic, only at Taco Bell.
And I also just want to quickly note that we have to also reinforce that though these statistics show that 92% of survivors comprise women, that we can never negate the fact that young boys, men, adult men, they are also victims of sexual abuse, criminal sexual conduct. So just important thing to note as well. So also moving forward, you know, sometimes we were just talking about maybe the fear that survivors might face about speaking out against the abuse that they may be facing. So, you know, sometimes survivors also face harmful responses, like, why did you wear that? What were you doing to provoke the abuse? So the blame falls on the victim or survivor many times. So what are some ways that we as a community can shift those narratives and create a more supportive and believing environment for survivors?
Absolutely. So shifting harmful narratives starts with what I believe to be education and accountability. As a community, we need to actively educate ourselves and others about violence, consent, boundaries, and the impact of that hate and discrimination and those harmful stereotypes. And so that means sort of calling out that stigma. It relates, relating to victim blaming and harmful language when we see or hear it. But I will also note, again, going back to prevention, because that's a lot of the work that our grants are certainly tied into, specifically in the work that the coalition does, that prevention starts early. And so teaching children kindness, empathy, and respect for differences helps them unlearn prejudice and creates a foundation for healthier relationships in the future. When we promote kindness, cultural respect, and shared responsibility, we move toward a community where survivors feel safer coming forward. And so that's something that we think about in the work that we do and showing that support.
Most definitely. And, for people who may witness concerning situations or suspect someone may be experiencing abuse, what are safe and appropriate ways that we can step in to offer support? Yeah,
there's a few. So first and foremost, safety should always come first. That's obvious. And so reaching out to someone is really important. Obviously, here on Guam, we not only do we have local 24/7 hotlines, we actually there's also national hotlines as well. And so I just wanted to share a little bit of that with people. And I know the hardest part is reaching out. And so I think what's important to know is that there is support out there for you. There's someone that's always going to be available to provide you the support you need. And so connecting with someone who's trained, a trained advocate, is really important, and having that confidential support services is most often a very immediate, helpful step. And so some of the local hotlines that we have is Victim Advocates Reaching Out, Healing Hearts Crisis Center, Alley Shelter, Catholic Social Services, Sanctuary Incorporated, and Togi Incorporated are definitely some of the 24/7 local hotlines that we have here. But then of course we also do have National Domestic Violence Hotline, the National Sexual Assault Hotline, National Dating Abuse Helpline, and the Human Trafficking Hotline as well. And so leaning into those resources are certainly very important. I know through our coalition, we do primarily do indirect services, but we do also offer human trafficking direct services as well. And so I know primarily we're indirect, but we do offer some direct services there. And so if anyone is in need of support who's a victim of human trafficking, to please give us a call at 671 479-2277. And so by doing that, that's definitely a strategy as well. And again, we're always here for you. There's someone that's always going to be there to help and support.
Yeah, and it's definitely an important message that individuals out there who may be experiencing abuse or know someone who is,
Yeah.
to know and to have those resources readily available.
Yeah.
Freedom, that's a cheap thing. Freedom to ignore this, that's a cheap thing. Sacrificing facial hair to nature and involuntary blood donations, cheap things. No one signs up for an 800-pound bear chase, but if it happens, cheap thing. VIP parking, exfoliating, treating gravity like a suggestion, saying it'll dry. Free-range parenting, forgetting if that's a moose or an elk, all cheap things. Remembering without saying it, couldn't be more of a cheap thing. Sweating your tail off, freezing your tail off, an American saving another American's tail. Cheap things. Making a cheap vehicle for only people with cash like him? Not a cheap thing. Or confusing capability with unaffordability? No, not a cheap thing. Making adventure affordable? Now that's a cheap thing. So we're bringing you more cheap things this year, because cheap things should be everyone's thing.
Now, for a limited time, get our largest pizza at our lowest price. Just $9.99 for our classic New York-style pizza. It's 30% larger than our large, and at only $9.99 for carryout. Don't wait. Order now at your Island Pizza Hut.
So again, another important thing that I really wanted to talk about is relationships. And of course, this can include romantic relationships, platonic. There's so many different types of relationships out there, but the main focus is what healthy relationships look like and red flags to look out for. So can you kind of just take us through what are some things that we as a community or in our personal lives can look out for in our relationships, in our personal ones?
Absolutely, yeah, and I'm really glad you mentioned not just like romantic relationships or like, you know, relationships with family. I find that to be also a conversation that we have with the coalition, or things that we look at too, obviously with October being Family Violence Awareness Month. And so it's a great question to ask. And when I take some thought into it, I know respect, as simplified as that is, I know that's an answer that I find to be certainly most important, in having respect for one another and what that actually looks like. And so that's allowing someone to feel comfortable in their own skin when they're in the environment that you're with. And so whether that's in a romantic relationship or even family, just that having somebody who makes you feel comfortable, feel like you can be yourself, I think it certainly starts there. And of course, you know, respect and having empathy and a certain kindness to one another, that's something that we look at as well, that are certainly green flags when it comes to relationships. And of course, red flags feel very opposite to that. Disrespectful behavior, making somebody feel small, that they can't be vulnerable and be themselves when they express and share something. And so, you know, punching down on someone, someone's emotions, not making someone feel safe, feel heard. I mean, these are things that unfortunately that we have, you know, that I know our partners definitely have seen as they're out in the field, you know, being direct service providers. And so these are things that we're looking at in our work, and understanding how to, again, stay connected to our mission. And one thing that we like to do is try to have some staff development for ourselves. And so whether that's traveling off island to different conferences, or seeking the technical and training assistant, or the technical assistance that we need and the training that we need. And an example of that, recently we had a coordinated community response team meeting. And in that meeting, we had a representative from Healing Hearts Crisis Center who did a great job on a presentation on respect and respecting my boundaries, respecting my body, and what that kind of looks like. And she gave the presentation as if she was giving it to the youth. And I think, again, it really ties into the primary prevention and that we're referring to, and targeting youth as well as part of the work that we do, especially with the curriculums that we have. And so that presentation is an example of what really models good respect and those green flags and how important that is. And so again, starting at a younger youth, starting with them and is really important. And so that's always something that we're looking at and considering and doing, and having that knowledge for ourselves will allow us to be better coalition staff to support the different members and partners and agencies that we can support here on island, and ultimately, again, tying back to that mission of fostering safe and healthy communities.
Most definitely, and I think it's safe to say if it feels uncomfortable, it is.
Yeah,
so just
certainly.
to validate that. So I know that, again, April there's so many awareness themes that are happening in tandem with each other. So can you share what events or outreach efforts and, again, resources are available throughout this month for the community, and again, not just for those who are seeking support, for those but for also those who are wanting to learn more? Absolutely. So throughout the month, since really the start of the year, we've been part of the April Planning Committee. And so this is a committee that's comprised of different members and agencies and organizations. We all come together every week and planning going on throughout the month of April. And so I want to start off by saying that that is one collective effort that we've been doing. And again, it's about bringing awareness to all the different themes that we have. So Child Abuse Prevention Month, Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and of course the National Crime Victim Rights Weeks are all here in the month of April. But we even have support from and awareness for the Autism Autism Community Together organization for Autism Awareness Month, Youth Month, Month of the Young Child, Month of the Military Child, and even Public Health Awareness Month. And so we worked together to bring awareness and attention to all these different themes that we have going on. And so a lot of the key activities that we had, and we even recently had our joint proclamation signing and resolution and certificate presentation ceremony that we had to kick things off for the month of April that we had back at the Guam Community College multi-media room that we had there. But we do have quite a few things that are going on. And so a lot of our partners and agencies, we have different awareness fairs. For example, ACT, they have an autism awareness fair that's coming up this Sunday at the Micronesia Mall Sitter Court. But we do have a community village wave that's going to be happening on April 21st. And so we're going to be partnering with all the different mayors, and we'll be having a community wave at the same time. And so we're getting a lot of information out there for that. And so, please be sure to follow us on socials. We'll be sure to get all that information out to you. And then April 22nd, we do have a community outreach. And again, this is all tied into the National Crime Victim Rights Week that we have during that third week of April. And so these are some events that we have where the goal is for the community to come together in unity, show support for survivors, and learn about the available resources that we have to offer. And so if you see a lot of us out there waving throughout the month of April, that's probably a primary reason why we're doing it, is for those, is to bring awareness to that. And so, but yeah, aside from that, our partners are also continuing to offer outreach, education, and confidential support services throughout that month as well. Definitely. So. And again, if you hear about these resources, and if you guys see them waving alongside the road, please feel free to engage and get informed, get educated about this very important topic. And just to close out the interview, I just wanted to ask again, for anyone who may be watching, who may be experiencing abuse, or maybe feeling isolated or unsure about where to turn, what message would you like to share with them?
That's a good question. You are not alone. You deserve healing. It's not your fault, and you have my unwavering support. That's what I would say to them. Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Of course. And we here at KUAM want to echo that. And again, thank you all for tuning in to this very important topic. Jordan, I want to thank you so much again for coming in and sharing those resources and sharing those stories with us as well. So again, thank you for watching. That wraps up our primetime show. Good night.